Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Kirkon here. As you can notice, I didn't really draw much traditionally after the green color challenge, as I was and still am busy with digital art, making reference for my new OCs. After all, I've created quite a few new ones and they need some reference if I want to draw them more. I don't know why, but somehow I tend to get warmer when I start recording videos. I was waiting like, I don't know. And usually I am a person that gets cold easily, so I don't know what happens to me. I had my besties pick the color for this one challenge. One said purple while the other said red, but she also gave me the character name and it actually made it easier for me to plan this out. Anyway, first I started making the basic sketch. This is my OC Ishikawa Inari. He is a soccer player and even if here he is quite the cool guy looking, he is an awkward and shy living being. I bet he is totally panicking inside here, just like me. I ended up sketching the post twice, as the first time it ended up being a bit too big in the end. Then I started having problems as I forgot how the neck will work in this position. Silly me! Here I slowed down the video to the original speed to show you how slow I actually am when it comes to sketching. And I tend to fix things way too much, but I can't help myself at times. As they say, third time is the charm, because only on my third attempt I've managed to get the side view of the face to work finally. It was quite troublesome. Anyway, you will see that this recording had been quite unlucky for me, because I ended up encountering quite some problems on the way. But I'm glad I didn't end up panicking or overreacting for once, at least this once. If I have to be honest, I don't really like how I drew his hair and the back of his head. It could have been better. He looks like he got hit on top of the head and it got squashed. Poor Hinari. It's not that big of a deal, but at least I like how the finished result looks. I'm quite surprised that I didn't take long with this drawing. Overall it took me about 2 hours, more or less. I'm quite satisfied. Too bad I had quite some trouble with it anyway. Here I had to change eraser because the white one wasn't doing its job. It erased and then...
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Yep, the paper ripped.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I don't have any carbon paper. Actually, I should really buy some, but at least I have a trick I did learn back in middle school. That pretty much is the same as using a special tracing paper. Using a graphite pencil on the back of your drawing, if it's a soft one, works way better. Here I'm using a 7B. You can transfer your drawing on another paper. It's useful if you don't have a light box to use to trace as well. After coloring the back of your drawing, you simply place it on the paper you want to transfer it and then trace over it, trying to press a little bit and then déjà sont fait. I don't know why I went French there, to be honest. And then once again tragedy happened. Someone called me on my phone and then the recording stopped. I totally forgot to put the plane mode on and so the whole line in recording is lost. Bye bye! For that I don't really have a solution other than redrawing it yet once again, but nope, don't wanna, nope. Anyway, time to pick the colors. And only after looking into my Ohuhu Markers bag I did notice that I don't really have many reds in my collection. I swatched the ones I had together with the pinks to pick the right ones, and apparently I only have 12, and most of them are quite dark too. I don't have any really pale reds sadly, which could be quite useful. I did place them from lighter color to darker, something that I should have done with the green ones as well, as it would have made things easier for me. I also made a little swatch paper to check the shade of the color I was about to use too. Finally, it's time to start coloring, and his shirt is meant to be white, but I pictured him walking through the tunnel that connects the changing rooms to the soccer field, and the light coming from the front. Perhaps that's why he looks so determined and focused. Anyway, his shirt is going to be pretty much all shaded, and that is why I'm coloring it fully red. Since I don't really have many reds, I'm using the same red to shade the shirt as well, coloring the folds more and more times until it becomes darker. Minari has red in his design, and it made it easier for me to use this color for him. I guess my friend did think the same. Great mind, think alike. Tehe! Anyway, I started using the color from lighter to darker, so it will be easier for me to pick the right one to shade when needed, and this way it was even easier to do this challenge, to be honest. For the next one, that will be purple, I will have to think which character to draw. I don't know if I want to keep it to OCs or perhaps try and draw a fan art instead. Moose from Star Rail would be perfect for it since his design is pretty much purple. Obviously I'll draw it digitally first. After Capitano's drawing, I've learned my lesson with the Hoyoverse character and traditional art. It was like a torture. I tortured myself. I like drawing characters that have quite some details, but that takes quite some effort and traditionally is very troublesome, to be honest. Digitally is still troublesome, but having the layers and other tricks, it becomes quite easier. I used my white gel pens to place some highlights and also to clean around, and after signing the drawing, it's finished finally. And we have reached the end of this video as well. I did try and yap more than I'm used to, and I do really hope I made sense. I'm not a yapper by profession. Actually, I can spend a whole day in silence. Thank you for sticking with me until the end, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!